Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Part 2 of the Shiny Treasures of Ruin 5-star Tera Raid event is now live in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. In today's video, we'll cover all of the details and the best builds to help you easily defeat Shiny Chien Pao. This 5-star Tera Raid event is running for 2 weeks from the 3rd through until the 17th of August and is part 2 of a 4-part Shiny Treasures of Ruin Tera Raid event series. Chien Pao will be a 5-star Tera Raid and has an Ice Tera typing. And as part of this challenge with the Shiny Treasures of Ruin Tera Raids, we aren't able to actually catch the Pokemon after defeating them in the raid, but collectively are required to defeat a total of 1 million Chien Pao while the event is running to have its shiny distributed via mystery gift at a later date. Now the War Chen Tera Raid event, which was part 1 of this 4-part series, has just ended, and it was confirmed that over 3 million Shiny War Chen raids were defeated during its event cycle, meaning a Shiny War Chen mystery gift will be distributed from the 8th of August. So keep an eye on the channel as I'll drop an update video as soon as that mystery gift event goes live in game. Now to access this event, open your menu screen and then head into your Poke Portal. From here, go into mystery gifts and then click through on the option Poke Portal News. This will connect you to the internet and update all of your raid dens in the Paldea region. So the builds that we're featuring in today's video, we've got 2 for you. Gonna start off with Iron Hands, gonna have that fighting Tera type. The Scope Lens is the held item, and of course, like always, these builds will be level 100 and all the IVs will be Hyper Trained, so they're all set to 31. Moveset is gonna be Focus Energy, Belly Drum, Close Combat, and Drain Punch with the EV spread of 252 EVs in HP and in attack with an Adamant Nature. The remaining EVs just put into that defense stat, so your Iron Hand should look like this once it's built in game. The next build will be Ceruledge, one that you might have used already in the Wo Chen raid. This one's pretty straightforward. Held item is going to be the Metronome. Tera type is going to be Fighting, again level 100 and Hyper Trained. And the only move that you're going to really need in this raid is going to be Bitter Blade. The EV spread is 252 EVs in HP and attack, again with an Adamant Nature, the remaining EVs into that defense stat. So your Ceruledge should look like this once it's trained in game. As always, the builds will be down in the description below if you want to take a closer look at them after the raid. Jump in now, I'll show you how easy it can be with Iron Hands first up. So when you first come into the raid against the Shiny Chien Pao, it is going to start the raid off with a Ruination. That's going to be into any one of the random targets on your side of the field. If you do have an Intimidator on your side, it is going to be helpful. Chien Pao is predominantly going to use physical type attacks. It's not necessary though, not needed in this raid one little bit. So this Ruination, if it comes into your Iron Hands, that's super fine, but this time around it will be into one of our targets. Now we're going to start off with a Focus Energy that's just going to increase the chances of us landing critical hits, pretty much guaranteeing critical hit landing every turn with that Scope Lens held item. We're going to see the Haze, and Haze will be used by Chien Pao on 93% of the raid timer, 70% of the time remaining, and also on 35% of the time remaining, so it will remove those stat boosts to us throughout the raid. Next turn, after it's set up that shield, we're going to go for a Belly Drum, just max out our attack here. I'm going to take an Ice Shot for our trouble. Can take anything like an Icicle Crash as well, and other things that you want to watch out for as well, where Icicle Crash does have a chance to flinch, but otherwise you should be fine. Then we're going to lock in with a Drain Punch, start taking away at that Terastallization counter, get some of that all-important health back. Iron Hand's one of those Pokemon though, especially if you're soloing, it doesn't really need to worry about anything that Chien Pao is going to throw out at us because we've got such high defense stat anyway. We're going to be able to recover a lot of that health lost, and we'll just go for another Drain Punch after this, lock that in before it is able to get that next Haze off on 70% of the raid timer. They're going to take an Icicle Crash, and like I say, it does have a chance to flinch here. As you can see, it does come through, so that can happen in this raid. Cover Cloak is an option if you want to avoid those flinches, but it does mean kind of sacrificing the Scope Lens and those guaranteed critical hits. And don't worry about any defense drops as well that you do get, because it will use that Haze once again and remove those defense drops that you take from Crunch throughout the raid, so you don't have to worry about those stacking up too much as you go forward in the raid itself. There's that second Haze coming out, 70% of the raid timer, and we're going to be in a nice position now where we can go for another Belly Drum before we launch off our next Drain Punch, because that Belly Drum has been removed. Those 6 stat boosts that we've taken, gone, and we're going to have to set those up once again. This is the thing as well, where it is going to remove our stats and abilities from our side of the field shortly after the shield is broken. So we're going to have to set that Belly Drum once again in this raid. Icicle Crash coming through. Hopefully we can avoid the flinch this time around. Not this time, but like I say, this will happen throughout the raid with Iron Hands, and it's something that you just need to take into consideration. Most of the time you're going to get away where you don't get that flinch, but sometimes it will come into effect and can be quite frustrating. Why you might want the Covert Cloak as an option there, but I do just prefer the guaranteed critical hits every time, especially with so many hazes coming out from the Chien Pao. But like I've said before, Iron Hand's going to be one of those solid Pokemon that you're going to be able to use quite well, quite consistently, and it has just removed the stat buffs on our side. So before we do Terastallize, go for one final Belly Drum, and then we'll be able to Terastallize, Drain Punch, and close this up after that shield has been removed. So that is going to be how easy it is to do with Iron Hands. Pretty consistent, pretty easy to do. And if you've got your own Iron Hands, which I'm assuming if you've done a bunch of raids in the past, you're going to have one ready, built in game to go for this raid. This one might not be the best one to use online, although I haven't tested it online yet. But if you're soloing in game, this one's going to have no trouble at sweeping through Chien Pao pretty easily after you've got through, and you've got plenty of time on the raid timer left to be able to chip away and do your part in taking down these 1 million plus Chien Pao to get the shiny when it goes live, hopefully in Mystery Gift later this month. But that's as easy as it is with the Iron Hands. Of course, you're going to have those really high drops for any of the Herba Mystica, as well as the other high cost items that can come from defeating it, although we aren't able to catch it. So ability patches and Herba Mystica are one of those bonus items as well. Now, if you want to respawn the den on your map, because you only get one at a time rather than waiting 24 hours, come into your home menu and then down into system settings, then down into system, then down into date and time. Make sure your synchronized clock via the internet is off. Click into your date and time options and just toggle through. Don't change anything. Hit OK, and then come back into the game, and all your dens will respawn, meaning that you'll be able to kind of find that 5-star Tera Raid event on your map again, head over to it and kind of rinse and repeat. Oh, if you were one of those players that took on the War Chien with Ceruledge is another good option for you coming into the Chien Pao, because it is a 5-star raid. It isn't going to be as threatening as maybe a 7-star raid. You do need to be careful around those crunches. They are going to hit for super effective damage before we do Terastallize. This is going to be one of the most straightforward raids if you just want to go in mindlessly button mash and just do your part to take down as many Chien Pao farm items while the event's running. And this is a really good option. If you get an Intimidator as well in your side of the field, again, it's going to help out a bunch, but it's not essential. Can be done without it, and all you're doing pretty much throughout this raid is clicking that Bitter Blade button. Because we've got the Metronome, it is going to be increasing in damage every time that we use it consecutively. Again, you're just going to have to watch out for things like those Icicle Crash flinches, which can slow you down a little bit throughout the raid, but otherwise it's going to be easy sailing here. We're going to see that shield set up. It will use the haze as well to remove any stat buffs on our side, its side of the field. And the nice thing about the haze as well, it kind of works in our favor. Like I mentioned in the Iron Hands run through, if we do take any defense drops from things like Crunch, which is for some reason deciding not to use in this raid, then it will remove those. 3 times it will use haze in this raid, and it will remove those drops as we go forward. So basically all we're doing at this stage is waiting for our Terastallization. After 3 of these, we're going to be able to Terastallize and then start to do some really significant damage and close this raid up. You can see the crunch coming out. We take it pretty well, especially after the Intimidate, but even without that Intimidate, we're able to take it and kind of heal off any damage that we're taking from the Chien Pao as well. So it's going to be nice in a position now where we can Terastallize, so we'll click in with it as soon as we can, and we'll just continue to use that Bitter Blade. Nice thing about the Metronome item is like we've said, it is going to increase that damage every single time we use this move consecutively. Getting flinched doesn't break that consecutive use of the move either, so you're going to continually use it. Take a crunch there. We'll get maybe no defense drop there. That's quite nice, and the Bitter Blade should do enough to maybe get close to breaking that shield, and you'll see the damage increase. But it is pretty straightforward. There's not really too much to this strategy other than just clicking Bitter Blade throughout the raid, and you're not relying on having to set up, use any defense reducing moves either when that shield's gone or at the start of the battle to get around the haze or anything like that. You're just using that Bitter Blade, and it is going to be quite straightforward just to be able to remove the Chien Pao very quickly and get through and farm it for those high cost items and chip away at it for those million Chien Pao that we need to beat for this great shiny to be given out as a mystery gift. Over 3 million raw Chiens were beat, so I'm assuming maybe a few more might be beat for Chien Pao, and I'm kind of curious which one is going to have the most defeat. I think Tinglu might be the one that might struggle a bit more than any of the others, but you can see there we go. The raid timer still just below 50% of the raid timer left, and one more bit of blade will be enough to clean this up, and you're going to be able to have an easy time with Ceruledge if you want to use it. And the reason why I'm including it is because it is consistently good at beating the Chien Pao run through about 5 or 6 times myself already, so definitely doing my part towards that 1 million. But it's something that I know a lot of you used for that War Chien and had a lot of success with, so if you've already got a built-in game, why not use it again if it is as effective? So that is Chien Pao with the Iron Hands, with the Ceruledge. Unfortunately 2 Violet exclusives, but hopefully by this point in the game we'll have access to these Pokemon some way, shape or form. But there we go. If you found the build in today's video helpful, please leave a like, and if you have your own builds that have been able to easily defeat Chien Pao, drop them down in the comment section below. Thanks for tuning in, and good luck with this event over the next 2 weeks while it's running. If there are any relevant updates in relation to the event or builds, I'll update that on the channel as soon as possible. But for now, I'll say thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next one.